Still getting organised.
All right, hello and welcome to the Australian Ultimate Championships Division 2, Day 2 in beautiful, slightly less sunny than yesterday, Wollongong. My name is Max Halden and I'm joined by my co-commentator Terry. How are you, Terry?
I'm excellent this morning.
Awesome. And this morning we're bringing you Melbourne, the Living the Dream team versus Factory Fire from Canberra in the ACT. So two very different teams. Factory, a long-running club in Canberra, and Living the Dream, a new team built for Division 2. But we'll get into talking about them a little bit later.
And we're going from, it's just dropped by Factory.
And going to have Living the Dream picking it up on the far sideline. Sees a nice upfield pass to Martin. Martin calling her shots upfield, not finding anything, but finds a nice little under there. To 13, that's Campbell. Campbell back to Martin, and a big crossfield pass into the end zone, but it's a little bit overshot there, and Factory will get a second go.
And it looks like a bit of a zone or a two-man zone happening at the moment. And that was Joyce, who just unfortunately put it down.
Yeah, a simple drop there, unfortunately. And now we're going to have number 19, Hanaran, picking it up. There's a pick called, though. And we'll see if she can repeat the feat. Hanrahan still looking for that inside pass. And we've got a violation. There's somebody at the back of the field, or maybe not. Maybe just putting her hands up in the air. So that's going to count as a goal. Living the Dream draw first blood 1-0. So a bit of a study in contrast, these two teams. Factory, Fire. Factory's been a long-running women's club. They have a Division 1 team that will be competing at the Australian Ultimate Championships in Division 1 later in the month in Gold Coast. Whereas Living the Dream, a family kind of based team. There's a few relatives on the team, or there's a mother and daughter combination. These guys just formed specifically for Division 2 to have a bit of fun, get out there with a few people that they love playing with, and not take themselves too seriously. But in doing so, they've got a few pretty excellent players on their team, and they've gone undefeated in Pool C, so they're coming in pretty strong to the quarterfinals.
Living is just acknowledged, and we're just going to have the pool. And nicely back into the field there. And that's Bozza doing the pass. On to Carlson. Oops, and it's down again. This is not a good start for Factory.
And Ragaki is going to slowly walk up to the disc.
We've got a gusting breeze making conditions difficult for those throws.
Sees a nice flick there, and the Factory player can't quite break it up. Speeding to the end zone. They got two players. Oh, just bobbled. Oh, wow, but it ends up in the hands of a Living the Dream player.
Nice with that catch on the third attempt.
Yes, exactly. You need a little bit of luck in this game, and with that, Living the Dream go up 2-0.
Well, hopefully Factory can start to get together now.
Yeah, well, we talk about contrast, the difference between the warm-ups and the two teams as we watch this pass again, just to Brown upfield, and then shoots it into the end zone to two open players. Bobbled once, Factory player gets in there, but manages to pull down by Living the Dream. Talk about contrast, the the two teams' warm-up this morning was were very different. Living the dream, very relaxed. Rocked up to the fields probably about 20 minutes before the game. Few little movements, just a bit of casual throwing to each other, and then ready to hit the field. Factory probably here about 45 minutes before. Series of warm-up and complicated stretching routines, and it seems like preparation hasn't necessarily paid off in these first couple of points.
And that wasn't arrival at 45 minutes, that was start a warm-up.
Yes, but of course this Living the Dream team, as we said, has a lot of talent, so...
So that's Holmes with the disc. And it's a bit of give and go.
A lot of traffic in there, in this zone. Every second pass. Oh, wow. And a block there by Martin.
On Okada.
Ooh. And just overshoots our receiver there going up the line.
First throw away by Living the Dream.
She's Factory moving it nicely here, but they're really trapped against that far sideline. Probably thrown about 10 passes that are all within a few meters of it.
But a nice swing across to Joyce. Back to Ivanovic. Oh no, the disc is going back to Holmes.
Quick travel call.
Back to Ivanovic. Into Nichols.
They were trapped again on that sideline, but Factory seemed fairly happy to just keep moving it there, but now almost all their players, there's nobody on this side of the field.
Oh, and then it's just dropped, unfortunately. Wet disc.
And they've got a streaming player, but it's going to be overshot.
Looks like they're just going to force them, tie them out with the zone. That's Holmes again with the disc.
Get a nice swing off, but there's nobody really to go to, and they end up going back towards that far sideline.
Ivanovic to Joyce. Oh, and it's up, it's up. It's going to float back again.
It's going to be a lot of people under this eventually.
Easily taken in the end.
Very well read. Oh, and they found Brown. Oh, classy grab there from Brown. That's Hanrahan throwing that goal.
Taking Living the Dream up to 3-0.
And with that, it looks like Factory are going to call a timeout. Timeout is called.
And of course, they have 3 timeouts per game, and they may only use 2, maximum and a half.
Yeah, two per game, 2 timeouts per game. Yes,
just been corrected there by the advisor.
And big shout out to all the advisors who've been helping this weekend on the streaming fields, keeping the players informed and in line. And it's been a good experience for some of these Div 2 players to play with advisors, often for the first time. And especially with the way that Ultimate is going, it's a good experience to have.
So is this mainly a change for us to eventually get into the Olympics? The Olympics can't cope with no officials involved in the game?
Yeah, well, I will admit I was scheduled to be a line advisor this weekend, and I was enthusiastic and excited about doing it, although this commentary gig is a little bit better. But the big thing about it is being able to signal to the sideline. If you've got a big crowd, you know how frustrating it is and difficult it is even in the commentary booth to work out sometimes what happened. Having a few people in yellow shirts who can indicate what's happened on the field, that is very, very useful. So, I mean, sometimes it could be replaced with an LED scoreboard, but it's still good.
And one of our advisors yesterday clocked up 25,000 steps.
That's true, yeah. So you get a workout at the same time.
So hopefully this will kickstart Factory after them calling the timeout, just getting a bit focused.
Yeah, and Factory's still very keen. They run off the field at every point. They run onto the line. They're always enthusiastic and excited to get going. So they don't look too flustered by this, early lead by living the dream. But they probably need to score soon if they want to keep this one within reach.
It's quite a chilly morning here in Wollongong this morning, and it's a gusting breeze. In fact, it's disappeared completely just for the moment, but it'll be back in a second. So that's Bozza, and doing the throw. Unfortunately, not close enough to Swan to assist.
But it might be a smart play for position there.
Will a zone happen?
We'll see if they're going to set it up. No, just a few switches happening. Oh, it looks like they are setting up a junk look. Yeah, here it is. So Huck and zone. Do what you got to do to win. As they move it back to that far sideline. Looks like, and just pulled out of the air by a Factory player. They're going to try and run and gun it.
And that's Beresford across to Bozza.
Oh.
Just out of the fingertips there in the corner.
But the Factory won't be too disappointed with that. They'll set them up on the corner.
It should be fairly tough for them to get this disc away.
Anna Ragaki grabs it, moves it to the middle of the field. One of Australia's most decorated coaches. And the quick movement continues. Living the dream, pass it to Hanrahan. And Ragaki surveys the field. Still not seeing exactly what she wants. And they move that swing again. Oh, it's just been caught by the wind, but it'll play. Oh, and a nice little crossfield pass to Martin. And Martin sees another one upfield. And just peels away from number 95. That's Newman.
And so Bozza with the disc. Oh, and a bullet across.
And Martin
to McDonald, and can't pick it up.
No, Martin, she wanted to, but good discipline there as she lets one of her fellow teammates. Oh, a bit of traffic. And Martin's happy that that one just fell out of her hands.
And Beresford's with the disc. And that's too much effort with this breeze behind the going downfield.
Yeah, breeze is up, heart rates are up, and the turnover rate's up as well.
Fortunately, I'm not keeping that statistic.
Ragaki very expertly takes her time walking it up to the line. Knows that everybody needs to take a bit of a deep breath. Ragaki has a handler moving forward up the line. Now on that sideline.
That was good work by Trin.
Oh, and a beautiful pass through the middle to Hanrahan, who now sees number 93. And now it's upfield in this close sideline. Good flick, number 26. Just slips out, unfortunately. Clem throws to Campbell, who just can't keep it in her hands.
And Bozza will grab the disc, and yes, it's zone again.
Wow, and now the zone is back on again.
Easily across to McDonald. Trin, Bozza. And the huck has gone in, and not read well enough, unfortunately. That breeze makes it very difficult.
Yeah, it's a tough one. The throws haven't been adjusted yet for this gusty breeze, although it is hard because it's a constant recalibration.
I mean, if it's a constant breeze, at least you can gauge it and it makes it easy, but with the gust, discs have been known to move up and down by about half a metre, which can be quite dangerous.
Ragaki again looks to get it moving. Oh, and beautiful space in the middle there. Martin leading pass. Oh, and a big crossfield pass. This is going to play. Wow, and then they've got number 32 steering to the end zone. D catches up. Clem. Oh, nice little hammer there.
Oh, but dangerous in these conditions. Paid the penalty.
Yeah, and McDonald streaming to the end zone, bringing all the defenders with her.
Bozza picking up the disc.
Martin Number 13, Campbell. Upfield continues. Nice. Clem. Now got Martin on the sideline.
And Bozza safely
Ooh.
takes that out.
Yeah, and it just can't get it past Martin. And they're going to set the zone. There's a lot of space behind if the receiver can get it there. Yes.
Safely to McDonald. Cross to Fung. Oh, unfortunately out the side, but good defence there.
Huge layout from Anaragaki. She's a big game player and she's come to play this morning. Captain Anaragaki.
And the sideline force with the zone in play.
Yeah, let's see how they play this one out. Clem, a couple of fakes, big mark by McDonald and gets a turn.
And zone does its job. Bozza with the disc, straight through the middle to Ockerby, and straight in for a goal. Beautifully done.
Nice. There you go, and with that, Factory get their first point on the board. Scores 3-1.
So that timeout certainly had its effect.
Absolutely, they'll be very happy with that. And, I mean, took probably a little bit longer than the Factory team would have hoped. But a wise move to go with that huck and zone strategy. Got a lot more blocks out of the Melbourne living the dream, and that made a big difference.
Well, these conditions certainly suit the zone.
And watch that nice little crossfield flick there. It was exactly what it needed to be. Yeah, you would hope that any team that was travelling to Division 2 was planning to play a lot of zone. The only thing that you can rely on in Wollongong is that there will be wind.
That and Bondi Beach,
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon game.
Exactly. And yes, the gusts have picked up quite significantly from yesterday. So I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more zone on the games that you loyal viewers watch today on the stream.
Not the worst wind conditions I've seen. I've thrown up a heavy woolen jumper and it actually flew halfway across the field. That's the worst conditions I've ever played in.
Yes.
And
So-
there are only about 3 handlers who could handle that wind back then. We have a lot more now these days. Jim Garvey, Simon Wood.
Oh, wow, and a huck on 0, but that downwind push is just going to push it a little bit too far. This wind is really sending these ones that are going from right to left of your screen a little bit deeper.
And Bozza with the disc. Cross to Ivanovic. Apologies if I get those pronunciations wrong. And Bozza again as the popper from Adaka. Cross to Ivanovic and a nice sweep to Brown, who pushes it up the field to Carlson. And just before the end zone. And safely in.
Beautiful movement there.
Bring it back to 3-2.
Just some really crisp passes in the middle of the field there that just opened the whole thing up, and Living the Dream struggled to contain it once it got through.
Which is usually the case with the zone. As soon as you punch your way through, it's free game.
Totally. And a big difference is, I think, in how Factory were playing that offense. Previously, they were managing to get the pass through the zone, but then struggling to find a continuation. And then, as we watch a little bit here in the replay, you'll see now they have a few more options upfield, and that changes the whole picture for Factory. Really, really nice movement. Very confident. Good use of fakes. And in the end, the last pass is pretty straightforward. So, 2 points in a row for Factory. Got a bit of a game of momentum at the moment.
Indeed. Shall we see 3 each? They've got to get a big D for that to occur.
Yeah, well, certainly in these conditions, it's a game of defense at the moment. It's really, really nice offense from Factory, but having that opportunity to huck and zone early on has really changed the momentum for them.
And certainly test your throwing skills with this breeze.
And on cue, the gusts pick up, and as moved it to 26.
Left completely open there.
Yeah. Clem, 95, full circle pivot to Newman. Moving it fairly easily here. Oh, and beautiful pass by Martin.
Nice attempt of D by Joyce.
Yeah.
But
really
unsuccessful.
showing excellent form in the layout, but probably wasn't in the right position, unfortunately. So wow, that was a pretty easy one for Living the Dream.
Indeed.
Free money, free money. Yeah, and they were playing a containment style, so they wanted to get them on this sideline, but the downside, of course, is that if they can work it up that sideline all the way to the end zone, then your containment's not worth anything.
And that's where your wings and deep need to be floating on that side to capture that disc. It is very hard to learn that role in the wings and the deep. The deep, at least you're waiting for that disc, or you've got to be sliding sideways. But the wings have got to be moving back and forth, and it's purely dependent where the offense is at the time.
Yeah, always a challenging position. You'll find some people take to it very naturally, and for others it can be a real struggle to learn.
That's where you tend to have your sideline helping with calling what you need to do.
Ooh.
And a floater and a bit of a collision there,
but
no one's hurt.
Yeah, there was a bit of heavy contact, but both players are happy with that. So Martin, really nice D in the air. We got Clem picking the disc up. Oh, gonna hit that inside. It's gonna float, but that'll do. And Martin gets the bookends, a D and a goal. Wow, and just as quickly as it was within one, now it's back to 3, 5-2.
It is one of those days you'd rather be on the field running, so as at least you're keeping warm.
Can confirm that from the commentary booth. But yeah, we'll talk a little about Living the Dream. They've, as I said, they're undefeated on the way in here. So this is they didn't play a pre-quarter, so they're one less game than Factory, which may be a factor. And they're a family-focused team. There's a couple of McMahons. There's a mother and daughter combo. That's Sienna Brown in number 33, who you might see wandering the sideline, and who knows, maybe we'll see her get on for a point later in the game, depending on how it's going. And Kelly Martin, who just got that block and goal, is her mum. So a real tight-knit group here in Living the Dream.
Factory's just having a bit of a discussion on what they need to do. And the advisor's whistle goes. A nice little huck, keeping in the middle of the field. Beautiful control in this breeze. Cross to Bozza. Where's those cuts? Nice cut there, but yes, and well done by Holmes. Back to Bozza, and down the sideline to the deep. Carlson waiting for a cut. There goes the dump to Beresford.
Wow.
And straight across, but unfortunately to no one.
Yeah, the receiver didn't quite see that big crossfield coming, and the throw was a little bit past as well.
Plenty of empty space, but got to be someone there to grab it.
Yeah. Very, very physical game so far. A lot of the marks, there's a lot of contact, and even on the catches, there's a lot of pressure. But both teams seem happy with it, so continue. That's a part of the fun of the game, I suppose.
And no real slips either with that rain overnight.
Deep cut. They got back onto the sideline. Oh, just a bit floaty. And
Nice D there, catching the disc. Oh, and straight turnover to Bosram, fortunately.
Yep. So it is.
Not expecting the turnover that quickly.
No.
They're back to man marking.
Trying to force a few passes backwards. Nothing upfield at the moment for Living the Dream. Might need a high bailout here. Oh, it's a nice little cut upfield. Oh, good grab there from McMullen. Oh, sorry, Mullen rather. Oh, and a crossfield flick. Not going to be able to rein that in, unfortunately, Clem.
Boss is there to pick it up. Straight down. But unfortunately, Carter can't reach it.
Yeah, I'd be guessing here that the communication out of that little huddle on the line was just huck it. Which honestly, in a what is sort of becoming a bit of an upwind downwind game, that's not the worst decision. But can get a little bit frustrating, and for a defensive team that keeps getting blocks, but then has to watch as somebody throws it away.
But if you can keep that disc near the goal line that you're after, that certainly helps.
Oh, and Clem just, once again, that disc gets caught in the wind. And now Factory's going to have it on their own end zone line.
So Holmes picks up the disc, just waiting for a cut. Nicely across to Beresford. There's our first slip. I shouldn't have mentioned that earlier. And nicely across to the side into the middle of the goal area. Beautiful. And that was to Joyce.
Yeah, and it's not pretty, but the Huck and D strategy has definitely paid off for Factory.
Making that 5-3. And
Yeah.
that was not Joyce, that was Carlson gaining that goal then.
Gee, it's just gritty ultimate out there. Physical. It's a lot of hucks, a lot of big looks, and then just wanting to get that D on that defensive end zone line.
Pleasant to watch, provided you're not having to run after that disc.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, that's where the frustration sets in as a player. Seeing that disc go down, you've got to run another length of the field. But being the first game, that's probably not an issue at this stage, but certainly later in the day. And the only worst condition is if you're actually playing on sand and got to run that distance.
I think you're onto something there. All right, Factory signals their readiness, as do Living the Dream. And Factory, ooh, the gust picks up just as it comes out of the hand. Very short pull. Doesn't get over halfway.
And looks like it is another sideline zone. Middle field zone.
Yeah, Regaki picking it up. Oh, it just hits the turf, unfortunately. Thornton pass just bonks on the knees.
Not a horizontal zone, a vertical zone.
And Living the Dream just playing man in return. Unlucky there, number 35.
By Kershaw.
Hanrahan moves it across the field. Oh, I was really hoping to see one of
the tip on.
Yeah, one of Gail Cocking's signature layouts, but a bit too far for her.
That was Okada.
Regaki's going to walk over to it. She's going to see Martin going deep and definitely hit that.
And where is the defense? Oh, it's a floater, but yeah, they're there.
Oh, a bit of a bump, but that Martin will confidently throw it into the end zone. That was always going to have to go. Once Regaki saw it, she couldn't unsee it, and that's a goal for Living the Dream.
Yeah, you can't really afford not to have someone running deep in defense, can you?
No, certainly not in conditions like this. And Factory knows as well as Living the Dream that part of the play has just got to be to work to hit those deep shots when they're on. You don't want a short field turnover in a game like this. As we watch that again, Regaki just expertly, puts it in the air, trusts her receiver, which is a very good move when you've got Martin under the disc. And Martin takes a little bump, but easier to like backhand to the end zone. Always good to have two receivers streaming deep, so if you don't make the full distance with the huck, you get that little bonus one.
Just having a safety always helps. Second option.
So true.
Picking up those scraps when it doesn't quite happen as you expected. Now the breeze is picked up again. It's going straight downfield from Factory's position to Living the Dream. So we'll see how good this pull is directly into the breeze.
Yeah, any wobble you see in the camera is it's not your hangover, it's actually the gusts of wind.
And that is a beautiful pull, completely steady. And that's Bozza, across to Holmes, and down the sideline, and still going down the side. Oh, slipped right through the fingers there, unfortunately, by Swan.
It's Mullen who goes to the far sideline to pick it up. Oh, zone. Hits the deep shot, but not really to anyone except the Factory player.
Holmes. Oh, will we have a strip here?
We've got a talk. And Martin and the Factory player discussing it.
I'm assuming it's Fung, but I'm not sure. It can't be Fung. Fung's here on the sideline, so
there's a foul signal by the game advisor, and it's uncontested. So uncontested foul will come back in on 0 for Factory.
And that was Bozza. Across to Holmes, straight into the breadbasket there, unfortunately.
Martin picks it up. She's going to jack it. That's the one. Bit of a height mismatch, but perfectly read. I think there will be a little bit of a question mark there. She did take a bit of heavy contact as she was coming through.
And it was over the top.
But we will we'll see what they agree on.
Bit of input from the advisor there.
Looks uncontested. Yeah, as we watch it again on the replay. So well read by the Living the Dream defender, and yeah, it just takes a little bit of contact from the Factory player. Oh, Cocking catches it with her face, but that's fine.
A lot of motion there, not much happening. And perfectly finished off there by number 26.
Very good. Clem in the end zone. Oh, wow. That's I'd love to see the Cocking catch. I think is a real nice moment there, but yeah, fair call on the contact there on the catch, but yeah, you can tell that Living the Dream trying to be efficient with their long passes. Oh, we'll watch it again. Oh yeah, just takes it right on the chin. But Cocking's a positive person, so she's good to taking it on the chin, I think.
So that's 7-3 to Living the Dream over Factory Fire. That was a nice little grab, wasn't it, in the wind?
Yeah, really, really. And in these conditions with this gusty wind, getting grabs like that becomes quite a little bit harder, so all the more impressive.
Was that full speed on the replay? No,
I don't think
looked
so.
even better in the slower motion.
I agree. And a little bit of sun coming out for the players here. There's heavy cloud cover, but there are gaps in it, so really give you a sense of the unpredictability of the weather at the moment. Living the Dream up 7-3. Hope to take half here.
So that was Joyce across to Osmond. Oh, unfortunately straight down onto the grass.
That's tough. And number 95, Newman picks it up, looking to finish it. Nice. Munn always streaming through. And she gets quite a few goals that way, just being heads up on defense. And that will be half.
Indeed it is.
Living the dream, take half 8-3. So, folks, during this halftime break, I have been asked to plug the new Ultimate Australia Instagram channel. So, if you take any photos of you watching the stream, please let us know. Either comment or take a photo and add it to Instagram. Use the hashtag Ultimate Australia, or find the handle Ultimate Australia at Ultimate Australia. That message brought to you by Briggsy, the communications coordinator for the AFDA.
You're a fan? Awesome.
So half time, that's obviously 8-3 to Living the Dream over Factory Fire 3.
Yeah. We'll take a quick break in the commentary booth, and we'll come back to you once at the start of the second half.
Yeah, I noticed that. That was my comment to you.
Whoa, come on, thanks.
So a random thought, which you probably don't need at this stage. Game advice on yellow shirts. If this is going to be like
You're going to catch up, yeah. I'm going to do more walking.
All right, and we're back in the second half of this quarter-final between Living the Dream and Factory Fire from Canberra. as the skydivers in the background. Yeah, pretty tough day to be skydiving, but yeah, I'd rather be playing Ultimate, I think.
Definitely.
It's one of the many great things to do in Wollongong, and big thanks to our sponsors, Destination Wollongong, who have helped us out with this tournament, helped accommodate a lot of the teams travelling in from interstate and around the country. We've very much enjoyed our time here, and still got a great day of Ultimate to go. So thanks to those guys.
Of course, switching it around after half-time, Factory will be throwing off to Living the Dream.
That's it. And as you can see, Sienna Brown is taking the field, daughter of Kelly Martin. Good family vibe here from Living the Dream. And Sienna's obviously had a big breakfast this morning. She's full of beans, ready to go. As Living the Dream signal their readiness. Factory still just talking a little bit about what they're going to do defensively. Just a few last-minute adjustments. One of the Factory players on the sideline giving her, telling them to get going, get on with it. And I think the commentary booth agrees.
I think she's getting a little bit chilled on the sideline.
Big gust picks up as moves in the middle to Mullen, and geez, that gust.
Immediate turnover.
It's tough.
And Osmond, up into the air, but nicely caught there by Ivanovic. And back to Osmond. Just looking for those cuts. And 44 went all the way around Holmes. You give him the opportunity. Oh, there's a call in there.
And we're going all the way back. Coming back in on 4 for Factory.
And that's Osmond. And good defense there by 55.
Yeah, Martin breaks it up, and as previously said, she's streaming deep to the end zone, but
Ivanovic was with her.
yeah, not going to be found there. 16, Mullen gets another opportunity in the middle.
Oh, it's floating, and
beautiful D for number 25.
Oh, it's full. Yep.
Really great speed, good use of body positioning.
And that's Brown, just across the grass, tops to Osmond. A little bit of traffic there, but nicely to Fung. To the sideline, back to the middle of the field, Osmond. Ivanovic looking for the big one. Osmond's to the side. Bounces out of the hands of Fung, unfortunately.
As Living the Dream take it again. And a big cross-field pass. Wind dies at the right time. Martin tries to get under it, but can't secure it.
Ivanovic going over the top, but fortunately no one was hurt. And we've got a call here, just everyone's motionless. Call coming back in on 2 on Holmes. Just getting some advice from the game advisor.
Just a little bit of discussion about when to bring the disc in. Uncontested. Disc in.
I love the little shake of the head after listening to the game advisor.
Good grab there.
Nicely crossed to Ivanovic and back to Holmes.
Factory won't want to dick around with it too much, so they'll mess around with it too much in this upfield area.
Nice cut there by Kershaw. Too much traffic there, turnover.
Martin keen to move it quickly, but in her haste, unfortunately.
That breeze. And of course Osman picks it up and throws it again and throws it through, hopefully for... No, straight to the ground, unfortunately.
Too much.
It was looking good from here, but...
But again, Factory put Living the Dream on their own defending end zone line.
So still no score after half-time yet.
Yeah, entering the 5th minute at this point. Oh, and a crossfield blade. Oh, Martin in the right spot, but goes with 2 hands and can't quite get it.
Holmes with the disc across to Ivanovic. Nice cut there. Unfortunately, out of the hands of Fung.
An unforced error there. So Living the Dream, another opportunity.
We're back to zone. Horizontal zone.
Oh, and Living the Dream do a good job. Oh, and it's in the air. Again, picking the right receiver. Tough there.
But Holmes comes through and makes the D. Picks it up. Oh, directly into the ground, unfortunately, there.
Just a lapse of concentration. Now, Living the Dream will have a pretty good opportunity. Only have to work it up maybe 20 metres or so.
Could be interesting, this breeze, but they do have the throws.
Hanrahan. Oh, geez, that's a
straight
tough one.
down.
That's commentator's curse there.
There is a trouble with that because
Just
the
a little
commentators have to say something.
Oh, yeah. And in many ways we were right because we've got a foul being called on the throw. Just a little bit of a discussion about whether the mark was moving, I guess, with the contact. They quickly go to the game advisor. We'll see what see how this resolves itself. And it looks like there's no call. It is retracted. Big shout out to Mullen, who's doing a great job with the hand signals, really helping their advisors with their work.
Brown unfortunately throws it away.
Oh, the crossfield flick.
Ivanovic is following him behind.
Nicely done. 23 winds one up. McSheffrey
Snuck through there, the zone.
It's good, and Mullen airs it out. Oh, it's just a bit too
over the
much.
sideline. That breeze.
Yeah, anything above about head height is the wins at the moment.
Very active player, that wind.
Yeah. Yeah, the stats for the wind are very high this game. Nice.
Timeout call by Ivanovic.
Oh, no. Well, look, honestly, this is another opportunity.
That is the second timeout, and that's the last one for Factory.
That's true. So, Terry, did we talk about this yesterday on the stream? I have a theory about timeouts when they're called in the middle of a point.
We did indeed.
Yes.
And you were born out yesterday. Will you be born out again?
Yeah, and I've now commentated 2 games with midpoint timeouts. Both games turnover in the first couple of passes. It's just, as far as I'm concerned, not an inevitability, but you hamper yourself. There is an 80% chance that if you call a timeout in the middle of a point, it will result in a turnover for your team.
But it's been a very long point, and there's been no score since half-time.
It's very true. It's very true. But that the other team is just as tired as you are. And if anything, you're just giving them the advantage because the defense is going to be allowed to rest as much as you are.
Now, if they've actually timed this well, here comes the wind back. So if they had have been playing for that 30 seconds, they might have had very little breeze to contend with. But
yeah. Well, I mean, the Bureau of Meteorology is based in Canberra, so maybe there are some weather readers on the team, but I don't think that was part of the strategy going in.
15 seconds.
So we just heard the call for 15 seconds for the timeout. We have a nice little seagull that just decides the field is a nice place to land.
Now, these games still sticking with those 70-meter time slots, so still plenty of time to play in this game.
80 minutes, I hope.
80 for this game? I think it's still
They were 80 yesterday.
Were they 80 yesterday?
70, my
Yeah,
mistake.
70 minutes.
Sorry, I'm running off the what was on the original webpage.
Yeah, I think game's a bit abridged due to a few field closures. They've had quite a lot of rain, and I mean, really all over the East Coast. So wherever you're watching here, but
Not having attended the captain's meeting, you don't find out the latest changes.
I mean, going to the captain's meeting is a trap. No one should ever do it. Once we get all that on the internet, that's when we're really cooking with gas.
Well, that is why they bribe them with food, isn't it?
Oh yeah, something like that. Big shout out to the people at Duff for pioneering the no captain's meeting. Big fan of that. Alrighty, so let's see. Will Factory manage to get the 20% score, or will they get the 80% turnover?
So Ivanovic with the disc.
They run a set, and just as you like.
That call goes again.
And that's 3 from 3. That gives Livin' the Gene the opportunity now. Oh, and just a cold drop there from Campbell, unfortunately.
Ivanovic with the disc.
And look at that mark. I love that. Just like an airplane.
Not really
on
a
the
disc
mark.
space, though, is there?
No,
There is now.
not at all. Arms and legs akimbo.
Back to McDonald in the middle of the field. Wide cut, but straight down the middle.
Oh, that's nice. That's opened the whole
That was
field
to
up.
Brown. Back to home. And across to the left-hand side of the field with Kershaw, and nicely into the goal zone.
There you
To
go.
Holmes again.
Nicely opened up with that inside-out pass there. And so Factory proved me right, but also got the goal. So 8-4. They draw first blood after half.
So I don't think we can actually count that in your timeout calls. Okay, so they're still setting up.
Alrighty. Well, let's we can have a quick chat about the other quarterfinals, of course, that are being played at the same time. The women's division is going to be a hotly contested one. There's really a lot of teams that could potentially win it. Of course, you can check all this out if you go to the afda.com and click on the Division 2 page. You'll find the full schedule and the updated results. So if you're following along at home, join us there. But the quarterfinals being played at the moment. We've also got Sugar Mags from Newcastle playing against Mugs. That's the Manly team, both from New South Wales. Got Tempest from the inner west of Sydney playing Melbourne Inferno. Wollongong Surge versus Hills, and you're watching Living the Dream versus Factory Fire at the moment.
A nice little roller halfway down the field and rolling across halfway point. And sideline zone again.
Yeah, Factory will be very happy to cause a little bit of pressure. Really, quite a poachy set, really, from Factory. It's not their traditional wall. They've got 2 people and switching a lot. And that's just looks like what a stool 9 huck just for distance in the end.
So Boz is picking up the disc, and of course it will be right there in the corner of the playing field. Forcing into the field, not sideline. Oh,
And may pay results. Oh, great grab.
that was Heather McDonald. Across to Trin, and unfortunately, a vertical disc to Nichols.
And Hanrahan moves it quickly. 95, that's Newman. Across to 17, Thornton. Spirit Captain with the disc. Back to and over to Clem now, to Cocking.
Sweet pass, that.
Yeah, really nice. Cocking's got it on the sideline. Oh, no pressure. They've really got to close them out. Oh, tries to squeeze it in there, but Cocking can't quite grab it.
I assume that's Boswell with a disc.
Geez, in the air.
But not to any of her teammates, unfortunately.
Yeah, Clem
Oh, straight through bullet.
doesn't quite make it to the end zone. Just needs one pass. Doesn't see it.
No one's on the disc. Oh,
Chaos everywhere. There's defenders everywhere. Cooler heads prevail, and Thornton passes it to Cocking. It's a bit of an opportunity here to just get it in the end zone. Oh, beautiful move from Cocking. It's the 1-2.
Fortunately, no confusion there when two players on the same side running across to the disc.
Yeah, Cocking was fast enough to get in there to avoid any. There was going to be no confusion about who was getting that one.
That's now 9-4 to Living the Dream.
Yeah, and they are definitely living up to their name at the moment. Look like they're having a bit of fun out there, and it's looking good on the scoreboard. Nice little upline, just a classic dump set. Especially with an unmarked player there, made it all the easier for Cocking. Had the pleasure of playing with Cocking at Melbourne Hat late last year. Hashtag make Melbourne Hat great again. She's a really fun player, great energy that she brings to a team, and really a good teammate, and both on the field and on the sidelines. So it was a real pleasure, and I'm sure that Living the Dream is getting the same value out of her this weekend. As Factory hope to get one back on the scoreboard now.
Holmes across to Joyce. Nice cut by Osmond, but back to Ivanovic. Holmes.
Geez, a lot of people very
Joyce.
close.
And they're moving backwards, unfortunately, at this point.
Nice.
Nice pass through to Carlson. That's Osmond with the disc. No. Unfortunately, at the feet of Joyce that time.
Manages to get it through the legs, actually. Number 13, Campbell. Back to Brown. Oh, sorry, Martin.
Osmond cutting across there for defense.
Campbell again. Finally, the defense gets on. Oh, bobbles it forward. Little trip and fall.
Sorry, no style points for that one.
Oh, I like it. I think it's pratfalls are always the best part of Ultimate. Living the dream, knocking on the door, and Martin rather finishes it off.
Nicely splitting the defense there.
Yeah, apologies to Martin. I keep calling her Brown. That's her husband's name. I'll keep referring to her by her maiden name.
So that is 10-4 to Living the Dream.
Yes, so the winner of this game, which at the moment is at 10-4, good buddy, is going to be looking like it's likely to be Living the Dream. They will be playing the winner of Tempest versus Melbourne Inferno. So you'll have to wait for the results to find out that one. But Tempest would probably be coming in as a favourite there. They are definitely one of the teams I think here to beat. But Inferno, you would have seen on the stream yesterday, looked very confident. And it'll be interesting to see how these changed conditions have impacted both teams. Makes it a bit more unpredictable.
So we still have 10 minutes of play before time cap. And it looks like it will go to that in these conditions. I can't see 5 scores being done by Living the Dream to end it out without time cap. And that's Bozza, across to Beresford, back to Bozza, and the huck down the sideline to nicely deep there was McCarthy Partridge.
Wow.
And polishing off the goal there.
Some very clean offense from Factory.
Into the breeze as well.
Yeah. And that's a nice confidence boost near the end of a game.
And that was Ockerby there scoring the goal. Number 13.
And yeah, McCarthy Partridge, understandably pretty stoked about that deep cut and catch. And a strong finish there as well.
Now we have Bozza here kneeling. I assume that means she'll be going off the field. No, she's standing up.
Probably just stretching a hip flexor, I reckon.
More than likely.
It's getting a midpoint stretch. It's good. Even this late stage in the game, Factory still all really engaged, listening to the defense, supporting their teammates on the sideline. So good, strong team culture.
So I've got more of a squat than a kneel happening here this time. And these are the players that won't be going on the field, but they could simply be there in case they need to come on due to an injury, so they're actually listening to the instructions. And the reason for the squat or the kneel is so that the opposition can still mark up against the sides and see who they're marking up against. Thrown off by Ivanovic.
It's a nice pull. Just bonks off the leg there, the Living the Dream player. Ragaki in the middle of the field. Hits the pass across to Hanrahan.
Looks like a four-man cup, actually.
Yeah, a lot of pressure now being applied near the disc. Cocking.
No, that was actually Okada on playing man on the wing there.
Oh, wow, there you go.
Getting the turnover, Ivanovic.
Oh,
bullet across the Bozza and just flicked out the fingers.
And a tough little gust just pushed that maybe a fraction of a centimetre up, and that was enough. These conditions really proving challenging.
And Factory already set up. Tight sideline force with that zone.
There's a lot of pressure. Ragaki, big crossfield pass. Once again, picks her receiver expertly. And Kelly Brown.
Bozza, having come in for that defense, unfortunately left the deep free for that goal.
Yeah, it's tough. But that's a solid connection that's been working well for them all day. That's Martin and Ragaki. Two very experienced players, played together for quite a long time, and just a good combo out there on the field.
So 4.5 minutes to go. And that's 10-5 to Living the Dream.
I believe that's now 11-5, actually. 11-5, I
must
think.
have missed one. Yeah, 11-4 correction there. Just marked it down on the wrong side, that's all.
These things happen.
I was just so keen for Factory to get to 5.
I think they did get to 5. I think pretty sure it's yeah, 11-5. Great. So final 5 minutes before time cap here.
And we actually have a third team on the field. It's the Seagulls.
Yeah.
Picking up all those worms. Give them 10 seconds and they're flying in.
The Destination Wollongong sign there in the background. Our sponsors for the weekend. As Sienna Brown and Kelly Martin, mother and daughter combo, line up, chasing to pull down.
Nice little short pass to Holmes. And back again to Joyce. The zone gets into position. Cross to Osmond. Oh, and a great hand block there by number 55.
Yes, Martin absolutely loving that. Oh, and then she lays out, tries to recover that pass, but it's put too far by Thornton.
So Joyce with the disc to Brown, to Beresford. Cross to Osmond again, to Holmes. But no one's there unfortunately just tipped on, but they can't regather. Just from McCarthy Partridge there, just on the fingertips.
And Clem will bring it back in from the sideline. Does a little head flick, indicates what she wants, but sadly overthrows Mullen.
Holmes with a diss, back to, unfortunately Osmond puts it down.
Yeah, they had a 6-on-7 situation but couldn't capitalize. Martin wants to finish it. Sees Mullen. Cross field. Nice score there.
Very sweet.
Sometimes you can see them going to
Yeah, that was a simple one. Tell Martin is big on efficiency with the disc in hand. Wants to finish it as quickly as possible and doesn't mind holding it a little bit to get the result that she wants.
So 12-5 to Living the Dream.
Yes, as you can see, plenty of fields in action today here in Wollongong. As we see that replay, it's a nice little shot there from Martin. And easy as you like, break backhand.
So a bit of discussion happening here from Factory. Bosler, the captain, laying down the rules. What they're going to do next.
And that wind again, you can see from just that little bit of camera movement is really wreaking havoc. Some of these throws today.
So Ivanovic says that they're ready, and nice little pull there. That was Trin. Cross to Ivanovic, and it's a huck to 17.
Oh, wow. That, I mean,
beautiful attempt from McCarthy there.
And, well, a lot of speed coming in from Clem. That was a great contest. Moves it across to Campbell, who's got it in the middle of the field. Back to Clem. Newman's got it now. Clem on every second pass at the moment. Snatches it out of the hands of the waiting defender. Playing right on the sideline here. Oh, and squeezes it in an even smaller gap. Big backhand, it's in the air. Perfectly read. Number 95, Newman, throws it to her intended receiver. Probably put a bit more float on that than she would have intended, but the result is exactly what she wanted.
That was a great throw down the line.
And that's 13-5 with about 12 seconds to go to time cap.
And in fact, 5 seconds to go, and that's, as the air raid siren indicates, that is time cap called. So we will finish this point and then add one, so it will be a game to either 14 or 15.
Not many of these games actually being played out to 15. Most of them are going to time cap.
Yeah, 15 points in 70 minutes, not an easy feat necessarily. Especially in conditions like this where you might see points with multiple turnovers. It's we've seen a few, at least 6, 7, maybe even stretching 8, 9 minute points in this game, and you string a few of those together, you're not going to get to 15 in the end.
And that longest one probably being the one after half time. So Factory's ready. Just waiting for Living the Dream. Still getting their defence organised. Either that or they're just discussing the weather.
Yeah. I think number 8 just wants a hug.
I'll just keen warming up, I think.
Yeah. A few minutes on the sideline will do that. All right. There is an offside call. Nice.
That was the cross of the hands in front.
So
Signalling offside.
yeah, so one of the big advantages of having these line assistants and game advisors is the indication of an offside. So the game assistants or line advisors will indicate if one of the teams was offside, and it is up to the other team whether they want to call that or whether to not call that. So in this case, Factory decided to enforce the offside, and that means that Living the Dream will have to pull again. This time, hopefully, staying onside. Rogaki, not super excited about that, but I mean, understandably, they were also in front of the line, and that one is clear, and the play will continue.
Holmes with the dish. Nicely across to Joyce. Back to Holmes, going sideways. Osmond takes it forward, but unfortunately cannot get it to Swan. Yeah, Fung deciding she will take the defence on the handler. Nicely down the sideline to 55.
Rogaki to Martin, seen it all day, and then Martin finds the end zone. Number 95, that's Newman. And that's been the story of the day, really. Is Rogaki and Martin, and Martin's had some really beautiful throws into the end zone that have cleaned these points right up.
So that's 14-5, adding 1, it's a game to 15.
As the line assistants signal the game point somewhere between a dab and a Usain Bolt kind of movement. So living the dream with the chance to finish it off if they can get a block and a goal here.
Bozza once again laying down the law to the team.
And it's another mother-daughter point with Brown and Martin taking the field together for living the dream.
Well, as expected, living the dream, looking like taking this one out, having gone straight through their pool as winners. They were the favourites in this case.
Yes, that's right.
So it's Ivanovic. Down the sideline. So Carter back to Ivanovic was looking for that next throw instead of catching the disc. Fatal mistake.
And it's Hanrahan picking the disc up, finding Clem. Moves it across to Rogaki. Rogaki with a big flick, but doesn't quite have the meterage to get to her intended receiver, Martin.
And Odaka does the defence with Bozza with the disc, and it's a flick down the middle, but doesn't quite have the legs for McCarthy Partridge in the goal area. Oh,
Yeah.
just outside the goal area.
Yeah, the opposite problem for kind of caught in the gap between two receivers there, unfortunately.
And
Factory
zone's
set the
been put on.
zone. Yeah.
It's not unexpected with Bozza deep in the defence.
Setup is off. Clem, there's not a lot of movement to start, but gets it off to Rogaki, who winds one up, but shoots a short one to Clem. Oh, wow, caught by Martin. Not the intended receiver. A little bit of a hug on the way through. Geez, the passes are a bit wild, but the conditions are bringing it down.
Oh, nearly tipped on to the next player, but
Tough for Mullen.
I think that was always meant for 32. And Bozza with a huge, not reading the disc there. That breeze is just carrying that disc right down to the far corner.
Yeah, tough one for McCarthy Partridge. Once you start backing up, you can struggle to follow the disc with your legs once you get in that position.
But fortunately, down there already set up for the zone. Back to the normal cup zone rather than their vertical.
Yeah, Clem goes to Hanrahan, who gets it across to Rogaki. Now to Mullen.
Nice little swing there.
Nice. Martin now has it. Oh, nice little high backhand
Just
to Regaki.
popping it over the cup there.
Oh, and she's got meters to run into that doesn't have the field, unfortunately. Breaks rule number 2 of Ultimate Frisbee. Has to be in the air and in the field, unfortunately.
And that's Bozza with the disc on the sideline. Oh, the inside out doesn't quite work that time.
Would have been a nice pass to open the field up, but ends up peeling away from the defender rather than towards. Clem shows the flick grip, but throws a short backhand to Regaki. Oh, and they've got a few meters here to work it up. Oh, and just again over the top, but Martin tracks it very perfectly.
And timeout
A
call.
midpoint timeout. There'll be maybe a question mark about whether you can call a timeout after time cap. We're just...
I mean, it's their first timeout for the whole game.
Yeah, but there'll just be a question about whether a timeout can be called after time cap. Looks like they're allowing it. Just a bit of confusion.
Don't remember anything in the rules at all.
Well, in the absence of any rule otherwise, then we're going to allow the timeout. So this one's going for another 75 seconds at least. All right, well, we get another opportunity to add to the stats sheet here. Now, I'm a bit nervous because, you know, you can't lie, you can't argue with statistics. 80% of the time, it's going to be a turnover. But the, you know, when you have a receiver or someone like Martin with the disc and they get to call a play, it does make me a bit nervous that maybe this is one of the 20% ones, you know?
Yeah, it's all going to depend on that defense, though, isn't it?
That's true, and the defense has been getting a lot of blocks, so we'll see what the play is here, see what Martin does to rally the troops.
It's definitely going to be a set play here.
And big...
Because it's for the game.
That's for the game. And yeah, big shout out to Destination Wollongong, who are our sponsors today. They've been very gracious hosts in this beautiful windy city. And the weather's fined up for this the second half of this clash between Living the Dream from Melbourne and Factory Fire from the ACT. Factory Fire knocking on the door of a semi-final berth here. If we'll see what Martin can do with the disc.
So definitely a zone in play here.
Nice. Wow, hold on. There's just we brought the disc back in. There was just some contact on the mouth. May need to enact the blood rule here for McCarthy Partridge.
Oh. Looks like a knock on the nose, yeah.
Yeah. But few tears, but smiles on faces as well. So
Certainly with that defense for getting this back. Bozza with the disc.
oh, and
Flicking
a
it
big
deep,
shot.
but oh my golly, that's a long run.
Yeah,
No chance.
The gust, inopportune moment.
But that might have been a positional play.
I think you're probably right about that. But Living the Dream will get another opportunity. As a footnote to this, of course, a turnover after the timeout, as statistics would predict. Regaki now has it on the near sideline. It's a confident backhand across the field. They swing it to the far sideline. Got a bit of movement now. Wow, and a big rip. Martin and number 32, McCulloch, going to be underneath it, but
no one reads it.
that's a tough one. Once again, these gusts of wind are just making it, causing havoc for the throwers and the receivers alike.
And down the sideline, unfortunately, the breeze just takes it away there from
bounces off the
Carlson.
hands.
Back in non-zone again.
Clem to Regaki. Lot of space for Mullen to work with, but there's nobody really to throw it to.
Zone catches up.
So back again it comes. Clem puts, or Ragaki rather, puts Clem into a little bit of space.
Good wing work by Ivanovic there.
Factory forces it closer and closer to the sideline. Clem has it now.
And straight to the ground, unfortunately.
That's tough. We're living the dream, happy to work it within that little sideline area, but unfortunately the pass there doesn't
Also
give the
picks up
receiver
the
any
disc and down the
opportunity.
sideline to Okada. To Brown. Working their way down the flick from Bozza, but another bullet.
And that last pass,
Sales pass.
hardest one to get.
A bit too much positional play here, I think. Cups on, waiting for the disc to be in play. Disc now comes walking up.
Ragaki will bring it in from that corner post.
And a big flick down the sideline.
Oh, but
and,
well read.
Oh, missed by Bozza.
And
Unfortunately on defense.
Bozza got to did enough there to disrupt Brown's path, or Martin's path rather.
That's Brown throwing to Kershaw. Back to the side to Bozza.
And my hat was wet and I wore it for like 20 minutes.
Waiting for the cuts, but swings it. And nicely to Okada, who's not quite in. Back around to Brown. And nicely caught in the end.
Yeah, beautiful. Really a nice movement to not just cram it into that sideline that they were being forced to. They really worked for the breaks and are justly rewarded.
And Bozza does the complete run around to score the goal.
So Factory Fire getting most value out, managing to extend it a little bit longer.
So 14-6. Next. That's a long way to come back.
Can they do it?
9 points in a row. That's a big ask.
It'll be one of the, as I say, today could be the day we witness the greatest comeback in sporting history. You never know.
I've seen 11 come back.
An 11?
Yep.
Wow. Well, there you go. So 9 is nothing.
Do we have a new snack bag?
Someone tell me how long we have before the next game.
This is a team snack bag.
And
Open
Bozza, I
it!
think, just waiting for the wind to die down before the pull. Trying to gauge it, but no, it's gusting strongly. Coffee cup's almost ready to fly off.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yes, and that's tough in that breeze. A little bit of a roller. They better stop it before it rolls all the way back to the goal line.
Yeah, that's not quite as good as it's about a reverse brick, that one, unfortunately. Clem picks it up. Ragaki's got Ragaki coming behind. Hits her.
Zone force, of course.
Ragaki shows a few looks. Gonna have Clem streaming up again. Oh, and throws a scuba. It's a nice one to Cocking. Cocking, good fakes. Gets it off to Ragaki. Ragaki again, little one to Clem. Just a few meters outside the end zone now. Factory, oh, and Cocking. Nice, gets it off again. Forcing them backwards. Now Ragaki moves it to attack the other side of the field, and Clem will look to finish it off. And that
Perfectly done.
is the game. That guarantees Living the Dream a spot in the semi-finals. And they'll be facing off later today and hoping to bring home a little bit of silverware to Melbourne. So 15-6 is the final score here. Great win by Living the Dream. Strong effort by Factory Fire in tough, challenging conditions.
And played with great spirit.
Really great spirit. Very physical game, but both teams happy with it, and yeah, a good one to watch even in challenging conditions. So that'll do us here for this game. Next up, we'll be bringing you some men's quarterfinal action as we start heating up and getting to the championship bracket.
Just an update. McCarthy Partridge looks fine. She's out there shaking hands with the team members. So
That's good
in the
stuff.
opposition.
All right, so join us this afternoon for as we bring you more games from beautiful Wollongong.